But isn't it really what we're talking about here is the opening of the human heart?
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
if the eyes are the windows to the soul, the door is the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in my own work, I watch in the work that I do, that as people begin to open their hearts, they can trust more. And the more they open their heart, they can trust even more. And so pretty soon, the fear eventually dissipates. And then this law of immutable attraction that I was just talking about, and raising the energy vibration of your own being, or you're not raising it, you're allowing it to be as it is, instead of acting as a barrier to that.
Well, one thing that the Earth is actually, from my understanding, the Earth is actually in a different position in the heavens, in the universe now, that there's a new actual energy available on the Earth that has never been here before, that's allowing this true reality to manifest easily. And so people are, this opening of the human heart, see, we closed our heart because Murphy's Law, the buttered side always ended up down, you know? So we
Murphy's Law would be the law that closes the human heart.
Yeah. Okay, so
the only law that we know will always work.
Right, we closed it to protect ourselves, but now the butter side is coming up, and we're starting to notice. And so our heart, as each experience that we have, our heart opens a little more. Okay, maybe it's a little, okay, maybe, okay. And now, then, once we who are such powerful beings, do start to open, I mean, because the Native Americans say that we create the weather. The human mind is so powerful that we create the weather. You know, that every thought we have goes out on this grid all through the universe. And so once, you know, this buttered toast starts landing up, and we start feeling better about things, and we start shifting, and we just start changing the whole thing. And then, I call it like a volcano, you know, that's going to erupt with this opening of the human heart. And it comes about because this Earth is transitioning. It's bigger than all of us.
Yes.
I mean, it's way bigger.
It's the design of our universe.
Than all of us.
Right. And to touch on something that you said earlier, Nelson Mandela, and I believe it was in his inaugural speech, said it's not it's our light that we're afraid of the most, not our darkness. It's truly the light, our light that we're afraid of.
Well, darkness is only absence of light.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Exactly.
And synergy is absence of fear. And fear is absence of energy. You have let your own energy out. We're actually differently related to each other in ways than we have been believing, than we've been taught.
Well, our child rearing practices actually rob our energy, start that leak. We puncture, you know, if you want to look at it that way, of leaking out this energy from the minute we're born, when we're put in a plastic bassinet by ourselves. There starts the mistrust, there starts the energy leak right there. And then we get in with an authoritarian parent who tells us when to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, when to do this, what to do that, hurry up, shut up, do this, do that. And there goes our energy snatch right there.
That's
and
right.
so we start out the whole thing deprived of energy, as far as I can see.
So here is the quintessential question for everybody who can see a glimmer of VR4 and is reaching for VR4 but is stuck over here in controlled drama. Money.
Money.
Money. How do we deal with money?
Well, I'll tell you, Native American people, they have it, they spend it, man. You know? I mean, you know, and we can't understand that. But Carolyn Smith, she has it, she spends it. You know? Because there's more is going to come if we understand that. And then that takes us almost to a level where money has no value.
Yeah, I think
and that's what
really
I think we need to, we're getting to a point where we take the charge off of money. It has no value.
Right.
And then the goose that lays the golden egg can come into our life, and there can be all money, total abundance. But as soon as we have fear, oh my God, I better grab that egg and put it away, because there may not be another one, or I better open up that goose to find out where that egg came from so I can make more geese like that.
Yeah.
Then the magic can't come to us.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of, well, it's sort of back to what I was saying, that if you have a fear of losing your money or your stuff or your things because you think they're so important because you don't have anything within you, that you haven't established this knowing or this sense of it's a centered sense of knowing who you really are, and that is the most perfect gift you can ever have. And when you live from that, it's like the money becomes pretty irrelevant to a point that it's not the important issue in your life. So I think as you let go of that sort of thinking, it seems as if it is there. I mean, it appears. It is sort of a magical thing.
But does it come in the form of a welfare check? I mean, when you say it appears.
No, I think you find yourself working at some job that you love doing because your heart is singing and you're enjoying who you are and you love being who you are and you're being able to express your true self. And when you can do that, it seems to bring in, like you were saying, a certain level of situations and circumstances and people, and that brings that money into your life or the things that you need or whatever it is, just because your vitality, your energy, your strength, you become more dynamic in a much higher way of being, and somehow that seems to produce a way of making a living that's a joy to you, that's fun for you. It could be, we were talking about this morning, sweeping floors. I mean, some super top executive could sweep floors and be perfectly happy.
Well, we're almost out of time here, and I just want to say that I have learned a great deal and I really feel privileged to be part of this discussion with Carolyn Smith and with Connie Marlow and with Sandy Jones. And if you had one last thing to say, Carolyn, what would it be? Perhaps what would VR4 look like if we were all living there?
Lose your fear and self-doubt and choose for yourself.
And one thing, there is no money in VR.
No, money is rooted in slavery.
And for another thing, my daughter, money manifests itself. She goes in her room and in a teapot where there was nothing, she finds $50 bills. See, this reality is not real. I promise you.
Well, with that, I hope that I have some $50 bills showing up in my teapot or my underwear drawer or wherever. I don't care. Thank you very much for being with us on with this discussion on the true nature of reality. Thank you very much.